Artac Advisory publishes over a dozen daily futures letters, including daily analysis in Chicago's corn, wheat, and soybeans, lean hogs and live cattle, crude oil, unleaded gas and ethanol, the E-mini S&P 500 and Dow Jones, as well as the Australian SPI-200 and Aussie 10-year bond. We also provide ETF analysis in our weekly SPI report, the SPI being the symbol SPY, which is the active S&P 500 Index ETF, and the monthly ETF Sector Snapshot. This video provides a layout description for both the futures and ETF advisory letters. As an example of our many futures letters, I'll use the daily corn futures newsletter, Chicago Board of Trade Contract. As of this videotaping on Monday, February 23, 2015, the May 2015 corn futures letter was the active lead contract. Each letter contains a bar chart with one of the relevant indicators illustrated, a support and resistance column that contains the weighted technical levels for the day. I'll be taking a more detailed look at the support and resistance column later in this video and in the final 3 videos. As we continue moving down the page, you can see the Trend Timeframe Table, which provides a basic snapshot of the technical dynamic for a particular time horizon. The same information is provided within the commentary, but I find many traders appreciate the Trend Timeframe Table as a quick glance reminder of the status of the various trend time horizons. For instance, under today, you can see that pushing or opening above 396 even allows 401 3/4, while breaking or opening below 396 even allows 385 1/4. Within the 3 to 5 day time horizon, a settlement above 396 even should yield 409 3/4, while a downside violation of 385 1/4 indicates 373 3/4 within 3 to 5 days. Within the 2 to 3 week time frame, a settlement above 396 even indicates 423 within 2 to 3 weeks, while violating 385 1/4 indicates 362 1/2 over the same time horizon. Finally, within the 2 to 3 month time horizon, holding above 385 1/4 will keep 436 1/4 in reach over the next several months. On the other hand, a violation of 385 1/4 indicates 298 3/4 over the same time horizon. Moving down the page, you'll find the commentary section, which I divide into 2 separate time horizons, today and the week ahead, and the next several weeks out to the next several months. My commentary, whether describing the futures or ETF markets, can be described as cut to the chase. While dry and technical, it provides all the information necessary for conveying a directional bias over the 4 time horizons listed in the Trend Timeframe Table. I consider my commentary a no-nonsense intention to tell you exactly what my charts are telling me, and then you get to decide how to make the best use of this information, as it should be. Let's take a quick look at the 2 ETF newsletters I currently publish. The weekly SPI report analyzes the SPI, the SPY, the most active ETF in the world, correlated directly to the S&P 500 Index. The letter is laid out similar to the daily futures letters, with relevant graph, support and resistance column, and commentary, except it does not contain a trend timeframe table, but several abbreviated paragraphs that convey the directional dynamic for the week ahead, the next 3 to 5 weeks, and the next several months. The weekly SPI report also contains a second page of information that provides a mid to longer term perspective on this bellwether ETF. Finally, the monthly ETF Sector Snapshot does as its name implies, providing a big picture snapshot of more than 30 popular ETFs, segmented into broad asset classes like U.S. equity indexes, U.S. sector funds, U.S. bond funds, international equity funds, commodities, and currencies. The publication contains 10 full pages of charts and commentary designed to keep long-term investors and portfolio managers abreast of the directional long-term trends within each ETF, including actionable buy and sell signals correlated to longer-term price support levels. Let's finish this video with a more detailed look at the support and resistance column found within all of my daily futures letters and the weekly SPI report. To begin with, the support and resistance column is loaded with redundancies. Not only do I insert 1 through 5 asterisks or stars next to each level, signifying their strength and importance, but I also add a phrase that further emphasizes the same concept. In order to eliminate the possibility of 8 to 10 stars scattered across the page, I decided early on that slight variations of the 1 star would represent the 3 least significant levels. This hasn't proven to be an issue over the years, but if you're a little confused by this, stick with me for a moment and I should clear things up. We'll start with the most significant levels and move our way down to the weakest. Each technical level is weighted carefully according to its trend-defining significance. The heavier weightings, those of 4 and 5 stars, are those levels considered capable of containing market activity on a monthly or even annual basis. These thresholds are well suited for trend followers and hedgers, allocating positions many weeks or even months into the future. I will always adequately describe the containment potential of the 4 and 5 star level within the commentary, for these are the more trend-defining of any other levels, and given the fact the longer-term trends dominate the overriding behavioral dynamic, they are always in need of full description. As we move down the weighting scale, the weekly containment level is represented by 3 stars and has the ability to contain buying or selling activity for at least a full week. The 3-star level often defines the 2 to 3 week trend and is well suited for those traders whose positions typically exist over this time horizon. The multi-session containment level is always symbolized by 2 stars and can contain buying or selling activity for several days. It's well suited for the 3 to 5 day swing or position trader, for they often define the short-term 3 to 5 day trend horizon. Finally, as mentioned earlier, I provide 3 variations of the single star level. The strongest of these is the session containment level, capable of containing a high or low for the day. The next less significant single star level is labeled Intraday Containment. It's not considered strong enough to contain daily activity, but it's not far off, and furthermore, it often has intraday pivot point qualities that are further mentioned in the text. The least significant 1-star level is simply labeled minor and is well suited for the aggressive day trader or position trader who need to anticipate intraday hesitation points throughout the day. Another annotation you'll find in the support and resistance column are the up pivot and down pivot abbreviations, representing levels that, if violated, pivot the market in the respective direction. For instance, violating an up pivot level should either reverse a preceding bear trend or sustain or even accelerate the upside momentum of a continued bull trend. The inverse, of course, would be true of a down pivot. The up and down pivot levels are almost always mentioned in the commentary to provide greater context and understanding. So now that we've defined the weightings of the support and resistance levels, you might guess that short-term traders, especially day and swing traders, can nevertheless make ample use of the more heavily weighted longer-term support and resistance levels, viewing them as opportunities to maximize short-term position allocations. Inversely, longer-term trend followers harnessing multi-week moves can still make use of the less significant containment levels, if only that they provide an awareness of the nearer-term hesitation points that inevitably exist within a longer-term directional move. There is no universal formula for making effective use of the support and resistance column. After a number of days or weeks, individual subscribers tend to find what they're looking for, depending on their trading strategy and preferred time horizon. As I mentioned earlier in this video, expect continued explanation of the support and resistance levels in the final 3 videos. So on that note, let's move on to the next one, defining time horizons.